Hey, I'm Cam Day and welcome. I'm so happy you're here and I'm so excited for today's video. We're going to do a little get ready with me. I'll always be down for a get ready with me, to do one, to watch one. They're just some of my favorite forms of content, I must say. Part of it is just the personal level. Like I could watch anyone, anywhere, at any time do a get ready with me. It's just such a fun process. But even more fun for me is that it's going to be an all-one brand get ready with me. This is featuring Fitglow Beauty today. If you're not familiar with Fitglow Beauty, they've been newer to my repertoire. I would say within the last 2 years or so did they kind of come into my sphere of influence, and I'm so glad that they did. Allow me to hype them up for but a moment. They are female owned, they're cruelty free, and all the ingredients are very skin focused while also being natural. You know, a lot of them are botanical extracts, but they're plant-based. They're ethically sourced, which is really important because it's easy to throw around, you know, plant-based and all of these different ingredients, but they're mindful about how and where those ingredients are being extracted and where they come from, and I think that's a nice touch and a really important approach. That intention also really comes through when you actually apply the products to your skin. It just feels luxurious, but it feels like it's meant to be there and that it's good for your skin, and that's a really big thing. We're going to be putting together this simple, glowy natural makeup look, which has truly been my favorite and my go-to in the moments where I don't have a lot of time. And this is going to be really great for you if you're short on time and truly maybe short on finesse. You know, maybe you don't have a lot of makeup brushes, you don't have a lot of products, and that's just not really your thing. Also, again, if you just don't have the time for it, it's super simple. So just imagine that this takes about 5 to 10 minutes. It may take a little bit longer while we're here, just because I don't know if you know this, but I like talking about this stuff. And I just want to explain how I use it and the benefits of some of the products, but this is truly great if you're in a pinch and just has amazing payoff, lasts really beautifully throughout the day, and just it's going to look like your skin and it's going to look like your face. You're going to look and feel like you, and that's what we want here. So let's just get started. To start, for my base, I'm going to use their Correct Plus in the shade Peach. It's a color corrector that comes in a couple different shades, but I find that this peach shade is just perfect for me. And you'll notice that I used the teeniest, tiniest bit, really just in the darkest part of my eyes, mainly because one, a little goes a long way. And I really like that I don't feel like I'm using so much product that it'll just build and build layers and feel heavy on my eyes as I add in my concealer later. This just does a really good job of correcting some of that darkness so that I don't have to use as much concealer and it doesn't have to work as hard. So you notice that I'm barely using any pressure and I barely used any product, and you can tell how it already just lightened up the inner part of my eyes. And honestly, I could just leave it at that, but we're going to do a little more because what's wrong with a little extra? This is their Correct and Conceal brush, by the way. One, I love it because I'll always love a multi-use and dual-sided brush. I just find it super convenient, but the brush itself is really soft and does a really good job of blending without absorbing or removing any of the product that I put down, so definitely one of my favorite brushes. As the corrector settles in and I give it a little bit to dry, I'm going to start applying my coverage using their Conceal Plus. This is the shade 3.5. I found it to be one of the most perfect neutral shades. It's a light medium neutral color, and I just think it does a really good job of matching but also kind of morphing into my perfect skin color, and the texture is really, really lovely. You'll notice a little goes a long way, and it's very comfortable on the skin. It's not too thick and heavy, it's not matte, it's not too dewy. I will say if you are pretty heavy on your skincare prep and you like a glowy base, or if you run a little bit oily, this will have a little bit of a dewy finish throughout the rest of the day. So if that's the case for you, just use a little bit of powder and it will help to take care of that. But I just love how easy it is to blend. Again, using the other side of the brush, which is a nice flat side, still dense but fluffy, so it does a really good job of reaching specific areas like around the nose, but blending really, really seamlessly without taking up too much product. Just blending it in where I get the most redness, and then blending out to the rest of my skin, creating a really seamless blend. That's probably one of my favorite parts about this, is that because of the texture, it's creamy enough that it just blends and kind of melts into the skin without feeling like you have to really tug at it, without feeling like it's blotchy or anything like that. I just really love how smooth it is, and it feels nourishing. That's probably one of the most common themes, I would say, in my overall experience with Fitglow products is that it covers, it provides coverage and color, but it also feels like it's doing something extra for my skin. It's got those skincare elements and it just helps to feel really comfortable, luxurious, but more importantly, nourishing. So I'm going to take just a little tiny bit on the under eye to add over top of that corrector. See the difference of just 2 dots of concealer and corrector on one side versus the other? That's the beauty of this. The formula is just so light but really packs a punch, and it just doesn't feel like it's very heavy and goopy and clunky on my eye when I'm super prone to creasing and having really oily lids and having stuff move around. So knowing that I don't have to use a lot of product to get a good impact is my favorite thing. For brows, I use the Plant Protein Brow Gel. This is the shade Dark Brown, which I like to use because my brows themselves are actually black, but this provides a little bit of warmth, which is nice. I spin the spoolie on the back of my hand almost as a little bit of a palette. This gives me a little more control and freedom over the intensity of the color that I want on my brow, because what you'll notice is that this is really pigmented, which is really nice because, again, with most Fitglow products, a little goes a long way, and I just start at the tail of my brow just so I can get a good feel for how much color and pigment I'm working with. And I also like how firm the spoolie is. It just helps me actually get through my brow hairs and create a really nice shadow around them with the color. So once I've done a first pass, I'll then go back onto my little palette here, pick up some more, and then just do the same until I get the desired fullness and shape. What I like about this formula is not only is it super pigmented, again, a little goes a long way, which goes a long way with me, is that it also is nourishing to my brows, so it doesn't feel like it's drying them out, it's not making them stiff or waxy or crunchy. It's conditioning and it's helping to groom them as you brush through and help them feel a little bit smoother than I've noticed with other brow products, and I think it just does a really nice job of staying in place throughout the day as well, which is hard to find sometimes with these more nourishing and hydrating formulas. But look at the color payoff, they're nice and full, and I didn't have to do a whole lot to get there, which is the beauty of it. Now that my base is kind of settled a little bit, I'm going to go in with some cheek color using their multi-use shadow and blush colors. This is the shade Sunkissed, and this is Buff. I like to kind of cocktail these two, and you'll see in a minute, but I really like the packaging. This is how you'll get it in this really cool pull-out slide situation, but you can tell that you can just pop them out and put them into what's called a Z palette, or just one of those blank magnetic palettes, magnetic palettes, which is just really nice and customizable, which I'll always be a fan of. These, would you be surprised if I told you that they're really pigmented? Yeah, me either. I like to use the color Sunkissed on the outer part of my cheek just to do a little bit of maybe kind of bronzing, but this is more of a peachy blush shade on me, so I like to do, again, the cocktail of the two. So I start with just a little bit in my world, which is a lot of it, on the outer part, and then I use the shade Buff as a little bit more of a natural flush and a pop in the middle. Very pigmented, but the best counterpart to that is very blendable, which is really nice, especially if you ever tend to overdo it with your blush. I mean, can't relate, but just kidding. If you ever overdo it, it's really nice to just keep blending, or to use a clean brush right after to just continue to blend, or go back in with your concealer. Either way, it just does a really nice job of giving that color, but being a little bit more forgiving if you ever need it to. And I just like that. As a powder, it still has a very smooth finish. They're matte, there's not much pearl or anything to it, but it still gives life to my skin rather than feeling like it's flattening, and it just looks natural. And I think the way that it kind of meshes with the concealer is really nice, and just once they marinate a little bit, it looks really, really nice and natural. While I'm at it, I'm taking the shade Sunkissed, which is again that more peachy shade, and putting it all over my lid for a really nice even wash of color. This is one of my favorite things to do when you're in a pinch and you just need to do a quick look in 10 minutes or less. This just helps pull everything together, bring the warmth to the rest of your face, and make a very cohesive look. Again, a little goes a long way, super easy to blend, and if you were really in a pinch, you could just use your blush brush and just slap it on your lids and call it a day, and you'd still get the same look, because you don't have to be super expertly skilled. That's what I really like about these products, is that they're very intuitive and they're forgiving and they help you along the process because they're just that good and because they're multi-purpose. To add just a little bit of drama to the eyes, I'm going to use their vegan eyeliner pencil in the shade Black. It's a really beautiful, simple pencil liner that I like to use as close to my lash line as possible in a very unfancy and technical way, which is the beauty of it. While it's blendable and creamy, it also is waxy enough that it feels like it's going to stay in place all day and not just immediately transferred to the rest of your lids. If you know what I'm talking about, you know that that's not fun. But speaking to the creaminess of it, on the other side, it comes with a nice slanted blending pencil that I just really enjoy using as I kind of drag it along my lash line. This helps to smoke it out a little bit if you want a little bit more of a seamless liner rather than a stark line. And if you add the angle toward the outer part of your eye, you can start to do a little baby wing. It's great in a pinch, especially if you're eyeliner averse, because it can take some focus and some skill. It's super simple, adds a really nice depth to your look, and it's easy to use. Next up is the Good Lash Mascara. It is a dual brush wand here. We're gonna have a quick zoom in moment. You can tell that on one end there's the regular mascara brush, and on the other is a curved plastic wand, which is a great combo, and I'll tell you why. To start, I use the brush end. This focuses more on volume, so I like to get it as close to my lashes as possible, my lash line, start to kind of wriggle it in. This will start to fan out my lashes and get each of them spread out and ready to be coated a little bit more with some length in a minute, but this just does a really good job of almost priming the lashes for the rest of the look. So then I just go in for another quick layer, flip it over and use the comb side, again getting close as I can to the base, and then just wriggle it up. And this brings the drama. You started the volume with the brush side, and now we're using the comb for a little bit of length and also more product. But because you're using the comb, it's basically removing any of those clumps as you apply it. So I don't even think it has the possibility of being clumpy. But just look, I didn't curl my lashes, I didn't do anything. They're nice and even and separated and lifted really nicely. And this lasts really nicely throughout the day, easy to remove. It's almost like a tubing mascara in the way that it stays and how you can remove it. At the end of the day, just use a little bit of warm water and a little bit of pressure at the lashes, and it just comes right off. I think I get about 95% of it off that way, and then just finish the deal with a cleanser, and you're done. Gonna do a zoom in moment for the other eye, just so you can really get the full experience with me here. Start with the brush side, close to the base, wriggle on up, get that base layer primed and ready to comb. Then flip for the comb, and you get a much better grip on the lashes with this comb, and you just brush through and get that length and the drama. And there you go. For lips, I'm using their vegan lip liner in the shade Nude, a beautiful pencil liner just on the outer part of my lips here. I love this color because it matches my lips so nicely and naturally, and even if you have lighter or darker lips, I think this will still provide a really nice, really beautiful rosy tone. And you can use it as a full lip color because on the other end it has a brush which does a really good job of just smoothing the color out and diffusing it if you want to do so around the lips or all over the lips for more of a full like lipstick color. But for a pencil, it's so creamy. Again, while still having that hold without feeling like it's just gonna slip and fade away 5 minutes after you put it on. Then I just do a little bit all over, mush them around. And then the pièce de résistance, I would say, of the Fitglow lineup is their lip serum. If you know Fitglow, you know their lip serum, and if you don't, welcome, here she is, she's the best. This is one of my favorite, if not, okay, it's my favorite Fitglow product. This is the shade Buff, by the way, and I'll just let the product itself do the talking, and then I'm gonna do some more talking. It's a very comfortable, nicely pigmented lip serum, and I think that's a really important part of the product itself because of the way that it hydrates the lips and just feels really comfortable as you apply. It has an ever so slight cooling effect because it has some plant collagen in there and some antioxidants, which are just helping to nourish the lips but also provide a little bit of a plumping peptide moment, which I'll always be happy with. It helps to just smooth some of the lines without feeling too glossy, too sticky, or too light and oily. It's just the perfect texture, and it feels like it's a treatment for the lips while you're getting some color and some glow, which is a great combo. If you're curious about how it smells, it's very slightly minty and very slightly vanilla. It's a really nice scent, I would say. It's very reminiscent for me. I can't quite pin it down, but I love the way it smells. I have almost, I think maybe 6 or 7 of these, and I'm sure at one point I'll just have the full range because I love it so much. But the scent is really light, again, subtle once it's on the lips. The texture is the really most important part here, and I would say the main player of it all. It's so comfortable on the lips. I've not worn anything like it, and I think that's why this is a real winner, because it has this treatment effect. It's very spa-like, very luxurious, but very easy to wear while still get the color payoff, still getting the gloss finish without it being overly shiny, not sticky, not heavy. It's just the best. And it's really nice to reapply. I love just throwing this in my bag, especially if you start this off at the beginning of the day, and if you ever feel that you're, need a little touch up, it's just easy to apply, get that hydration back in the lips, and you're good to go. Final step, a little hair zhuzh. No look is complete without it. I'm not really sure what my hair is doing today, but we will take it. Anyway, that is the complete Fitglow look. It's this really natural, truly effortless, not just looks effortless, but as you could see, was an effortless application process. And I just love keeping these in my bag as staples. Most of the time, I end up using them all together because they're just great on their own, but even better together. And I love the way it feels. I love that I feel like I'm doing something good for my skin while making it really easy for me to just feel put together, and that I have a really beautiful finished look. If you haven't already, check out Fitglow online. You will be in for a treat, especially if you can. Please check out the lip serums because they are just phenomenal. And they just recently launched a new product. It's a foundation, and if it's anything like the concealer, I'm so excited for it because it's just going to be a delicious base product, and I just know that my skin's going to love it. So please check them out. I'll have links to everything in the description box. I kid you not, this has been my go-to makeup look for the last few weeks, like consecutive days in a row, because of how easy it is, especially if you're just about to run, to grab a coffee, if you're getting ready for a meeting online. Like, it's just super simple but effective and foolproof every single time. I also just feel like a nature goddess when I use these products because of all the botanical extracts that are in them and just the way that it feels on my skin. It just feels lovely. Can we just have a moment for the lips and the lip serum? It's been like a minute since I applied it, and I feel like it's really gone into its activated serum mode, and my lips are just ever so slightly plumped out. The lines are slightly filled in a little bit more and just juicy and delicious without being too much of anything, and I just love it. Oh, I can't wait for you to try it if you haven't. This is it, y'all. A big thank you so much to Fitglow for sending over these products, all of which I would have bought and will repurchase when the time comes, just because of how much I truly enjoy them and how much use I'll be getting out of them, because they're just so easy to grab for day to day, and I hope that you're able to give these a try. Again, let me know what you think. And if there's anything that you're curious to know more about that I haven't maybe gotten my hands on yet, just know that this is not the last iteration of my Fitglow repertoire. I'm so looking forward to adding more and more new products from them because I just really love the quality and the intention behind them. So let me know, and I'm happy to find out a little bit more for you. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day whenever and wherever you are. Please take care and be well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!